Hey everybody, this is Timothy Bennett here.
Sarah Banyan.
Jason Chandler.
Welcome back to B&B Banter Bros Goes to the Movies. Tonight we are going to talk about a fairly recent film. I think it's been out for at least a month, maybe. Would you say about a month?
Yeah, purchasable or
at least
whatever,
for purchase. But yeah, it's been out for about a month. Called Nobody, and it's a hell of a film. It's whatever.
It's a fun movie.
It was fun.
Honest trailers referred to it as John Wick with sad dad energy, and
yeah, sad dad Wick. I like that.
It really is, but it was a fun movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Me too. I'm glad you guys. I was the first one to see it, probably about a month ago. Yeah, right when it got available for purchase, because you could see it in the theater, I think, a few months back, and then rent it for $20. And I'm not a fan of renting shit for $20.
No, I waited until.
So I waited.
Yep. I mean, I can deal with $5 or $6. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't terribly happy with $5 or $6, but I mean, I can deal with that.
I got it.
I think it was worth it.
I bought it for 15.
So, but yeah, so Nobody, which is a action. Would you call it an action comedy?
Because it's subtle comedy, but it's more of an action movie than anything.
I mean, it's definitely an action.
Yeah.
It's full on action for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely an action movie.
They call it an action crime drama on IMDb, but I think that
yeah, I can kind of get that.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate.
It's subtle dramas.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle in the drama too. It's basically just
they give you just enough to give a fuck about his character,
right?
And why he's doing what he's doing.
Well, I'm going to talk about his background stuff later.
Oh, good. You're a fan of his?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's starring it was a very perfect, very almost pan-faced kind of comedian actor, Bob Odenkirk. His biggest thing was in Breaking Bad, he was Sal, and then they did a spinoff called Saul, sorry. Then they did a spinoff called
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Well,
which was good too.
He used to do a sketch show with
Mr. Show.
David Cross called Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Yeah,
Would
but
you
that
agree?
wasn't like his breakout by any means.
Odenkirk's been around
He's been
forever,
around for a
never
long time.
like a lead besides the show or whatever, or Mr. Show. But he never really became like some worthy or not worthy, but somebody to remember until Breaking Bad.
Yep.
And then when I went back and watched the show or saw the show, because I watched it back in the day, and I was like, no shit, that's the lawyer from fucking Breaking Bad. And then, he's just one of those type of deals where you go back and watch old movies. You're like, oh shit, I didn't know that you've been around this long. But
shit.
He's directed a couple of movies.
He's also,
he's got his hand in everything.
Didn't he start off in stand-up? Didn't he try to do his hand at stand-up?
Sketch comedy.
Yep.
He definitely did a sketch doing Mr. Show, but I don't think he was stand-up.
He wrote with Conan. I think
right.
I want to say he dabbled in stand-up in the beginning. With
I think they all probably dabbled in it, but I don't think he did very much with it. He might have done like improv stuff.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that.
He was also in Dolomite.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was the studio producer guy who was like offering him, was like, hey, listen, you can either take it or go back to the streets. But anyway, very funny guy. I've liked him, and just like you were saying, Jason, like now that I know who he is and I look back, I see him everywhere.
Yep.
He's just popping up left and right, but he's funny.
I've always kind of known who he was. He was just never somebody that was big on my radar. But I also have never really watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. So.
Oh, okay.
He has almost a very similar comedic deliverance that he does in this movie. Believe it or not, like
he's kind of the straight man to like. I think he always ended up being more of the straight man to like David Cross's like
sillier over the top
kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's why they worked.
Yeah,
whatever it is that he's doing, it's fantastic. That's all I know. He's like him.
He's so subdued in this movie. It's that's part of it. He's so not even animated. Like he's just autonomous. Like he doesn't. He's just moving through the motions.
That's how they deal. I mean, they show that he's living just a
family life,
just a day after day, same predictable.
And I like how they
in the beginning of the film
they displayed that mundane life that he was living.
Yep.
That Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Now, here's one thing I had. We'll get into it, but I had a hard time with the garbage scene, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, okay. I have a nitpick on that as well.
So, but first of all, the director of this film, which Ilya Naisholler.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce his last name.
I know, sounds kind of Eastern. He did Hardcore Henry. I enjoyed that movie, and it was a very unique movie.
Never heard of it.
It was it's first person.
First person.
Yeah, but it's like a video game, but it's a movie. I told you that you needed to watch
It's
it.
kind of like Crank, but from a first person point of view.
Okay.
And a little less
better.
comedy.
And better.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
I enjoyed
It's also got the
Crank.
same guy, the South African guy that was in the Alien movie. He was in
9?
Yes, District 9. He was in Chappie.
Why did I get that?
I don't know. That's perfect though. He's in Chappie, District 9. He's in Elysium. He's the bad guy in Elysium with Matt Damon. That guy is also in this movie, but give it a watch. It's the same director. So after now realizing that, he's a really excellent action guy. Like he knows how to work with his action very well. So
Yeah, for sure.
This movie felt like a fucking video game. I thought.
Kind of, yeah.
at moments I thought it was. I could
Yeah,
see
it definitely
that.
had moments. I think overall it was just a really well done action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it, and I was in for it all. Like from the get go. Like I liked the intro. I liked the way they did the showing of the days, and I was entranced the whole time.
Yeah. Well, that is probably because the writer of this film is the same dude. What was his name? Derek Kolstad, who wrote the John Wick movies. He did all 3 of them.
That makes sense.
He knows how to write action as well.
Yeah,
That is
he knows
why.
how to write the beats.
Yeah, that's definitely why there is a similar feel, or people
Yeah.
want to say, to John Wick. Now,
I
seeing the movie, can you really compare it to John
No.
Wick?
No. I mean, obviously the fighting or whatever, it's easy to compare, but it's so
But
different.
it was still
There's too
dumbed
much
down.
plot to be compared to John Wick.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It was still dumbed down. Like the fighting wasn't complex by
no.
any means. It
No.
was
No, but
it
that was
very
what was beautiful
believable.
about those fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like,
They were.
everything looked like a regular guy fucking fighting. It wasn't
Yeah.
a machine doing it.
He was being inventive too about what he was using around him,
Yeah,
and
that bus scene was magical.
The bus. Is that
Yeah,
what you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
When God closes a window or a door, he
He opened
said,
it, please let him open that door.
he wanted it so bad, you just felt it, and then it happened.
Yep. And I like how subtle and smooth he just he's like, all right, I got this. Don't worry. It's like he's just gonna take out the trash basically.
Yeah.
And he just nonchalantly walks
Moves
through
the bus driver off of the bus.
and then pushes her off, shuts it, and then you go, okay. And that's when you realize, oh, yeah.
So-
And then you
Shit's
get the
about to go
sense
down.
that he hasn't done it in a while, and he's
Yeah.
kind of rusty.
Yeah, he gets hit
So
3
after he
times.
gets back on the bus after being thrown off it, he's like, "All right, I think I'm ready to actually like
So
get into it."
those, not getting too far ahead of ourselves, those 5 thugs that get on that bus, did you recognize one of them?
No.
He's been in a bunch of other like movies. So I think the most recent thing is if you watched Altered Carbon, he's in that movie. But he was in like it was after Jean-Claude Van Damme stopped doing Bloodsport. The sequels after that, he was the main character in Bloodsport.
Oh, Cody from fucking Step.
No, that's Kickboxer.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
if you
I
watch
know.
any of like the later Bloodsports, like the Dark Kumite and all that shit, that guy is the main character in that is one of the thugs. Is the thug that gets all his teeth fucked up.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was that guy because I
Yeah.
thought he looked.
You've probably
Kind
seen
of.
him in shit. Like
Yeah.
he's been in a lot of stuff, but like, he's not like a name guy, but he's a pretty big martial arts guy.
Yeah, he didn't look like anybody I guess I really recognized by like if
Yeah.
I could put a name or a face or even a film, but he just. I don't know,
Yeah, I just know that he did like the later Bloodsports.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that because I just like when he was in the hospital and the guy throws a chair at him.
That was I fucking laughed at that. I think I wrote that in my notes. Like he just fucking threw a chair at a guy in a hospital bed.
All right. So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about right away in the beginning of this film, we get this really excellent, not so drawn out, but just enough where you understand that he's living the same boring life, basically.
Yeah.
Very mundane.
He's just going through the motions.
Yep. He wakes up. He knows that he's going to run out of coffee. He knows he's not going to have connection with his family. He's just going to go to work and all that shit. But the trash, right? He misses the trash every fucking time. How do you miss the trash after even once?
Yeah, why don't you just put it? If you're a guy that can do all this amazing shit and fucking set up a whole warehouse with all this fucking booby trap shit, why wouldn't you take the trash out the night before? Just set it out on the fucking thing. That's what people do.
Yeah. Or hey, make your fucking child do it. He looks like he's 15.
Oh,
that's what I
sure.
That's what I said. Here's the issue with that though. He won't do it. And he's too much of a pushover.
That's true.
Yeah.
So my thought was like, it's fucking 2021. You have a cell phone. Fucking set an alarm.
I couldn't understand. You missed the trash again. Oh, you missed the trash
It
again.
was some weird
How do
way
you miss the trash?
to display some kind of.
He's checked out. I think this is what it's just trying to
I
show.
think that's
that
what
he's
it's showing.
checked out.
He's just checked
But
out.
it was hard to watch him miss the trash that many times. It's
Right.
like
And he says
you
the
get
same
mad at
thing.
him. Yeah.
It's like, come on, fuck, come on. It's like yelling at the. It's almost like the truck driver was doing it out of spite, purposely trying to pass through. You know what I mean?
You almost wanted to think that was going to come back to play
That's
at
the
some
best-
point.
Because he honked at him too. Like he's like,
Yeah,
oh
he did,
fuck,
the
come
last
on. like that guy is gonna hear him or even pay attention.
Right.
Right.
I've seen those truck
That's
drivers.
probably my biggest gripe in the
Those
movie,
garbage
though.
truck drivers. They're fucking on a mission. They're like garbage, dump, garbage.
Yeah, they
dump.
got a schedule to keep
Garbage.
up with. And
Oh,
it's
yeah. They
fucking-
got to hit, the whole fucking neighborhood. So
I
and I'm
compare
sure
it
they're
to
overwhelmed.
I compare it to the
more than
paper
they
route.
should be able to handle.
right. I compared it to the paper route I did, but 3 times as intense
yeah.
because
So that whole
trash.
opening, I could not stand his wife.
Oh yeah. She's
Like, I didn't
technically
know
a
what the
bitch.
fuck her problem was.
cold shoulder
But I was like,
resting
this
his
bitch
face.
because
needs to
there's-
fucking settle down.
Because there's no explanation for her coldness. Like,
Right.
and they're
And
they're
like,
drifting
when I
apart.
noticed-
He
When I
does-
noticed that they were sleeping with a fucking pillow wall,
yeah,
Right?
what the
between
fuck
them?
was that? I'm glad you brought that up.
I wrote that down. I was like, are they sleeping with a fucking pillow wall? Really? Like, and he just like lays there and then just gets out of bed and goes to the couch. Like, just fucking sit on the couch in the first place. Don't even fucking bother with that.
Yeah,
I
it's a messed up.
I didn't catch that right away. Like the entire
Until they
time they're
lifted
showing it. No. I caught it way before that. It was that moment that the people broke into the house. That was the first time because he gets up and
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
That was the only time I actually saw the pillow. I'm like, has that been there the whole time?
Yeah,
And then when she finally took down the wall, I'm like, it really has been there the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cold. What was that shit
Yeah,
about?
that's-
Well, right.
fucked
That's
up.
what I'm saying. Like,
At that point,
was her
go live
problem?
it. Yeah, go stay in the basement. Go live in the
where he
basement.
goes eventually anyway.
Yeah, right. I would have just done it for however long that shit was. But
Fuck that.
like I said, I think they did a really good job at basically showing he's checked out. I thought that
And
was
not even like,
They're
it
both
doesn't even
checked
seem
out,
like
I
it's
guess.
on purpose. Like,
No.
it just seems like he just has gotten worn down by the life that like he just moves.
and this is before we get any sense of who he
Yeah.
was. So like at this
Yep.
point, we're not really sure. Like like you just saying, it just sounds like he's just kind of worn down in life. That's how his life is. It's just so predictable, so scheduled. There's no excitement. The meter's just concrete.
He's just a cog in a machine. He's just
Yep.
going through it.
And it wasn't until that break-in. So I had a little bit of an issue with that break-in.
I didn't hear a noise that woke him up at first. Like,
Me neither.
Well,
I don't
he-
even think he did
he
until
was
he
already
saw
up.
his son's face. And his son's
Yeah,
face
and,
was
like-
like, "Do you hear that?" And he was like, "Oh shit, I guess I do."
I think he was just he couldn't sleep, so he was just
Yeah.
up already, and
'Cause he
just
gets
checking
up all the
around
time
house.
anyways, yeah.
He was just checking
That's
around the
valid, I
house. But how I don't know. I had a hard time with that whole the two people breaking in, and not knowing once again anything about his past, he seemed pretty fucking confident that he could take this situation. Like, he was calm as shit. He was just like, I got this. I can handle this.
Yeah, this was nothing to him.
Yeah.
Right? But yet...
Yeah, he was just like...
But what? I'm curious to hear your gripe on this.
But yet, I don't know where you would have stopped.
He stopped because there was no bullets in the gun.
I know, but you didn't know that until
You don't
later.
find that out till later.
And that's the beauty of this movie. They unravel that shit.
Yeah, that was the issue I had. Is there's no way somebody would have stopped, especially after watching your son just get punched in the face.
And then
that's the part.
He got punched in the face after she turned the gun on him, but
but I mean that's the. They needed that to happen so he gets judged by his wife, judged by the cop, judged by
I'm not saying it was poorly done.
His wife's right.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I had a problem with that.
That's the whole
as a person,
as a father.
Everybody
as
did.
A person.
That's what I loved about it, because then the next day he goes to work and everybody has a problem with what he did.
Right.
And really what he did was the right choice because of his skills, but you don't know that.
You don't know that.
But now he's put into a position where everybody's acting badass or giving him advice on being badass when he's the most badass person in the room. So he's biting his tongue.
Right.
He's biting his tongue while these little fuckers are judging him and just being idiots,
and
essentially.
I think that was the thing.
And I love that shit. Maybe that's upon second viewing is when I really got that, I guess.
Well, I got that to begin with. Even without knowing the background, I still got that. That's not what, like I said, it wasn't like it was poorly done.
Mm-hmm.
It was all purposeful. But the idea of believability towards this situation at hand, he was restraining himself. And that moment where he had the golf club and he was getting ready to swing and he bit his lip, I was like, fucking take these fuckers out. And then he just stops and then like they do the whole thing and then son lets... But as soon as if somebody was to fucking hit my son, he doesn't have. He could have taken
really
him.
That son of all sons. I think that son deserved a punch in the face.
How?
Well, he
that
did,
son
but he's a teenager. They're supposed to be.
He's
dicks.
a fucking dick to his father.
He is after he gets punched.
No, he was a prick to his father the entire time beforehand.
There's
You
like
did
no
see
interaction
him.
between
There
the
was
two
no
of them,
interaction.
but there was
It's
no interaction
implied.
between
It's
the two of them.
implied. It's implied.
He was implied that he deserved to get punched in the face
Fuck
by
yeah.
a burglar.
That kid's a piece of shit.
It's implied. It's implied.
It's the implication.
The whole thing is like the scaredness I like too, because it definitely showed that it was out of desperation, which they mentioned before. You could hear it in the chick's voice, and you could hear the frustration that the guy got,
the nervousness,
for whatever. And but I think my biggest frustration is it was only two of them, and only one of them had a gun, and at almost every single second that gun was displayed at what's his name, Hank.
Hutch.
Hutch. At Hutch, he could have easily have taken that gun away without hesitation. I mean, even I believe that in that situation, even if I didn't know it was loaded, it's like right there enough to just twist. But
I don't know. Maybe he just missed the excitement and wanted to hold on to it a little, live in it a little bit longer.
That's just nitpicking. That was the only thing.
But
that's what made that whole, like, when he talked to his brother.
The radio. Let's be real.
Should we call him Radio or RZA?
RZA. Yeah.
I knew that voice immediately.
Right. Especially when later on, when he started to get like when he was starting
really
to get,
worked up.
Yeah, really worked up.
Bringing out the attitude.
Yeah.
I was like, well, man, he's
from the word go, I was like,
really well. It was a really smooth, angry.
Because
attitude
the whole
there.
time I was like, what the fuck was that about the burglary thing? And then he explained the situation. He was like, yeah, it was this gun, and it was empty. And then they gave you a little flashback of him seeing the empty chamber, and then you're like, oh. Okay, and that was like the first reveal of his character's history, and I liked it.
Honestly, though, I
think you were supposed to have gripes in the robbery. Is all my argument.
It wasn't surprising. It didn't. It wasn't any. I don't know. I guess it was predictable for me to go. Okay, yeah, but it kind of helps knowing what the movie is about.
Right.
So, I had nothing really against the way it was done. It was more of just like as a believable moment.
As a human being, you feel like you should have had more of a reaction. But at this, I mean, the only thing you can argue is that he's supposed to be a highly trained operative. Maybe, he's supposed to have nerves of steel.
But even at that point, he could have easily have disarmed him without even injuring him. So
I'd agree with that.
Was the point.
Also, my biggest gripe about the robbery is like they break into somebody's house and say, "Give me all your money," and it's like when he was like, "I use a debit card," I was like, "That's like nobody fucking has cash just lying around like that."
Exactly. Yeah.
Anymore in the last 10 years.
Right.
it's so stupid. It's such a terrible fucking idea.
I may as well have grabbed his change bucket.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. It was a change bowl with a couple dollar. It was like maybe $8 in there. Like, but here's the thing. Me and Kaylee have something similar to that, but it's like we call it our little travel fund. It's not just. It's you can't just grab shit like they had a giant bowl like a fruit bowl, filled with a bunch of crap, and that's where they just lay their money. Yeah,
it was like it seemed like it was on the kitchen table or something. Yeah,
I just thought that was a little weird, but anyway, either way, it was fine.
They just put it in the shot, keep it simple.
But I did like the progression. I think that's something that I did really enjoy was you had a reasoning like. Everything he did, there's reasoning behind it.
Very well.
Yep. It was very like one step at a time. It wasn't like they were going, well, how did he get here? You knew how he got there. Every step that he placed, you knew how it got there. And even when they did a small little gap where you didn't watch everything that was going on, you still knew how he got there.
Yeah, I mean the last straw being the kitty bracelet or whatever.
Kitty cat bracelet.
Because his daughter's the only one like nice to him.
Yeah, he's the only one that has a connection with his daughter. So if she's sad about losing that and he just turns around, slams the door and does what he does, I just love that was the fucking reason. Right. I also like that little girl jumped a little bit when the door slammed. Like,
yeah, right. Because that was out of turn for him or his type of personality and day to day.
He never loses his temper like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really enjoyed going back. A scene before that when he's at work and you meet his father and brother-in-law. I love that Michael Ironsides is still getting work.
Right?
Yeah,
I can't believe how big he's gotten though.
I know he's put on a lot of weight.
It took me a minute to recognize who he was because he's
twice the
transformed.
Size.
Yeah,
he's twice the size that he used to be.
I just fucking love that he got work because like I love Michael Ironsides just about in everything I've seen him in. But yeah, I always find him entertaining.
I definitely
the little bits he did in here were definitely as good. Like
even his. I mean, it was basically a
his
small
snide remarks.
At that point.
Like his like remarks of like, well, you being you, like not surprising.
I also got a little bit of a tug when he's like, he's like, Hutch, I'm rooting for you, man. I was like, oh
yeah,
how sweet. It's like
after being such a dick, right? And then he's like, I'm rooting for you.
I don't think the dad was such a dick, but the brother for sure.
Well,
I was
in
so happy
comparison to the brother, he definitely was not a dick.
I was
but,
so happy.
He was still kind of an asshole.
I was so happy when the brother
punched in the gut.
Yeah. I also like how
sit down,
breathe, big breaths. I also really like how Michael was like he didn't even flinch about it. He's just holding a bunch of gold bars right now.
No, he was just like impressed, like. Good for you.
Right?
Punch the shit. Stand up for yourself for once or whatever the fuck his face was saying. But hell yeah.
I love the cameos in this movie. Like the bit parts that like were played. Christopher Lloyd,
right?
I think was amazing.
When I first saw him, I'm like,
he can barely walk.
Christopher Lloyd. I was so shocked.
Oh my God, he's turning into the Crypt Keeper, but I think it's amazing that he's still getting work. Right?
Yeah.
I love.
There's a movie somewhere that like I have queued up that looked really good with him. It was like him building a boat and befriending a child, which seems
a little
slightly unnerving, but
at least this day and age, you could get away with it in the 90s.
Yeah. But I like between the RZA, Christopher Lloyd, Michael Ironsides, like I was on board for all these cameos. Right?
Hell yeah.
Now,
or not cameos, I guess they were bit parts, but like they weren't cameos.
Now, so how did you guys feel about the very, very overly used cliche trope about Russian mobsters?
that when I first saw it, I was like, oh, not again.
Yeah.
But
The way that they did this one was a slight difference.
it was fun because they made fun of him, the karaoke thing and the fucking
Yeah.
with the shoes. I don't know all that. I don't know. They just made him look foolish, and they took them all out. So
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I was like, fuck, not again. But at the end, I was like, you forget.
I just have the hard time with the whole
And the Black Russian thing.
The Russian.
That was funny.
Bringing in a Russian mob or Russian gangsters.
I
'Cause
get
they did
you.
that even in John Wick, and I was like, okay.
Yep.
It's such an easy trope because I think the Russian mob is really the only mob that's still pretty prevalent.
Still.
Of any of the ones, because I think I think the New York, like the Italians have kind of gone onto the wayside a little bit.
And not according to The Sopranos.
What? 2001
like,
Sopranos? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, the way that they did this is how I kind of was like, okay, I can accept this and not
They
be
took
whatever.
the easy route. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But like they at least did it well.
But yeah, they twisted it just a little bit. He wasn't an actual like mobster gangster guy or whatever. Like they didn't do that whole like family thing. They kind of did
Right.
actually. They did with the whole brother issue, which it sparked up the whole we're
Yeah,
coming
that
at
was
you
the-
thing.
But they were like, "What do you care? You didn't even like him." And
Right.
he was like, "Family." So I don't know. They just made
We
fun of
all
him.
hated him.
Yeah, they just made fun of him so appropriately.
Like even in
Yeah.
John Wick 1, you knew that the dad beat the shit out of his son because he fucked with the wrong guy. But in return, he's like, I guess gotta face the boogeyman at some time. So like,
Yeah.
it's like you made this choice, but now I'm gonna have to fight your battle for you because you are my
Exactly.
son. But I'm gonna kick your ass for this.
Yeah,
Family means everything. So
And I get that. I definitely do. But I
I
did
mean,
like
it's easy to exploit that idea with the Russian culture and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. Because that's
and that's why I can accept it because I understand. It's overdone. They do it in every fucking
it
thing.
is.
Why
You're not wrong.
yeah, and same like Russians and then Nazis, neo-Nazis. That
Yup.
shit's another one that's like, that's an easy
or
Because
even
they're so easy to hate.
hate. Yeah,
and you get the whole like Japanese gangs every once in a while too. That it shines its light, and I can take that over hearing Nazis, like you said, or Russians, the Russian mob or Nazis. Give me some Japanese. I don't know. I can deal with that.
yeah.
Give me a Korean mobster.
But would you agree it turned out pretty well though?
It did
Because they had
it did.
the whole I never met a black Russian before. He's just
I
dying.
get that a lot.
And he's like, I get that a lot. And then he starts explaining his backstory and then looks
That was-
down.
yeah, I like that.
So-
So,
I don't know, so-
So yeah, I think you were one of you guys wanted to talk about the backstory.
yeah,
Oh,
so Hutch's backstory, like I loved the running gag where like he would start giving like backstory about himself.
yeah.
Yep.
And he'd turn around and everyone
Everybody's
was
dead.
dead.
Yep.
And he'd be like, shit.
Yep. I did like that.
That
I
was
thought that was just hilarious. Like I just enjoyed the way he gave his backstory off.
I did like that you really don't get the full story either. You get it,
you
but
get just enough to
it's-
believe he's
just
a badass.
enough to go, okay, he's a badass. Yep.
Yeah.
Especially like when he
Yeah.
so I thought it was funny. I actually really enjoyed this scene as I don't know, kind of cliche as it was again and kind of goofy, kind of like offset the mood a little bit. But when he goes into the tattoo parlor and he's like
Yeah.
flashing around that money and that the guy sees the tattoos.
Sees that tattoo, yeah.
And then he's just like, "Oh, thank you for the service." And just runs away, and then like you hear all the locks. I laughed.
That was pretty
I
funny.
thought it was
Yeah.
funny because it's just all quiet. They're all watching him. It's just
And then the window, and he's just like looking through. He's like,
I thought that was funny because that's
that
very
was really good. By the way, I loved the music in this movie.
Yes. The songs were old school and all a great choice.
I think the only song I
Yeah.
can actually think of is the one in the what was he driving? It wasn't a Camaro. It was a
Oh, his neighbor's
Charger?
car? The
Charger. That's what it was. I thought it
Yeah.
was a Chevelle for a second. Yeah, Charger. I think that's the only thing I can think of.
There were a couple that I heard.
Heart?
Like there was the second karaoke was a song from Man from La Mancha. which is a Don Quixote musical. I don't know why I recognized it. I just did. But like
Don
there were a
Quixote?
couple like
You
the
like
first
karaoke?
2 songs I really recognized were covers that were done in a different style. Like they almost made them sound more like almost like 50s ish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like his music collection. Oh my god. Okay, go back to it. a minute. Yeah, the whole like the music he was listening to was very
Just in
50-ish.
general, like the music
I
that
really
would
like that.
play.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
the music
during
that
the
would play over
car
certain scenes.
chase scenes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the car chases, like anytime, like when he was traveling, there was a couple different songs. Like I'll go back and look them up at some point, but
The song that he was like "Life Is a Bitch" when he was on the bus
Yeah.
was good. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
That was,
all
that was,
the
that was
songs
a pretty
were
appropriate.
they were
song
all
to
well-
for
play.
sure.
thought out. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they were all
choices.
Yeah, they were well picked, well placed.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
something I would do.
And it gave the movie the right energy at the right time.
Yeah,
I agree.
it did. Now, what would you say is like your favorite scene? I mean, as much as this film had a lot of great scenes,
Mhm.
I have a hard time just picking one. But
Me too.
What would you say would be your favorite if you could?
I really love when the kitty comes out of his coat.
Oh yeah, in the beginning, like right away, just comes and he has a tuna.
does- yeah.
Just pulls out a tuna can thing, like
That
a
fucking
can
weird
opener.
callback to his daughter going, "We should get a kitty."
yeah, it's it's
First of
all-
all, I thought that was fucking weird that he just like he's sitting there in handcuffs, right? So you're like, oh, okay,
Oh,
he's
I
being
know.
interrogated.
It
Next thing
made
you know,
you-
he pulls out cigarettes. I'm like, okay, that works. Next thing you know, he pulls
cat.
pulls out a cat and then a can and then a can opener, and I'm like, where the fuck is this shit coming
Dude,
from?
right away.
A goddamn Inspector
right
Gadget
away,
over
you're
here.
just that's when you enter
Yeah.
the trance and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to know why this is happening so bad.
And he's doing it without even a blink of an eye. He's
Yeah,
just doing it like
Yeah.
Just
with this. I
Just
just
all-
That
goddamn
knowing smile, like
magician
he's like,
right
"I'm
there.
not in fucking shit right now.
Right?
You guys suck
just
it."
a goddamn magician pulling out fucking rabbits out of his
I
hat.
think one of my favorite scenes has got to be when the 2 thugs go to Christopher Lloyd's room.
Yeah.
And he just fucking pops him with the shotgun.
Acts like
and
he's
the orderly
sleeping.
wakes up for the second one, and he comes in and he's got the guy with
Yeah.
his mouth over his hand over his mouth while he's struggling. He's like, "Shit, turn that down." He's like, just turns it down. And he just like as the guy dies, he just pats him on the cheek.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I fucking love that scene.
yeah.
Probably because once again he had the calm demeanor and he was smiling the entire time he was killing this
Just
guy.
look down at him
my-
as he stopped moving. He just
my
tapped him on the
favorite part-
cheek a couple times.
Yeah.
And my favorite part about Christopher Lloyd, just not him only being in the movie, but you get his sense of like energetic or revitalization. Like
Yeah.
he misses killing people. He
It's those random moments, like-
He has such a smile on his face when he's shooting people, and he's like,
When Hutch comes back to his place to get the cash and the badge to
Yeah.
go investigate, and like he's sleeping in the chair, then all of a sudden he turns around and he's standing right there.
"Yep,
Like that was fucking gold. I thought I was like,
Yeah.
you just get that sense like he knows how to move.
yeah."
Just got a cup of coffee. He's just, well, you better go do it then.
Sounds like that something turned into a big something.
I also like the lack. There's not a lot of dialogue between like Hutch. Everything he says, there's not a lot of dialogue. The only time you get a lot of dialogue is when he's trying to explain his backstory, and then it gets cut off. And the only other time you get a real sense of dialogue, like a long extended amount of dialogue, is when he's really telling his backstory about like sending Alan home. That's probably
Yeah,
the most you
that was
hear him
actually one of my
talk.
favorite.
Oh,
parts.
yeah,
One of my
yeah.
favorite scenes.
But once
I
again,
love when he's just like, "I'm not a jealous
Yep,
man,"
but fuck him.
but like right then, fuck that guy.
right? I wanted everything he had.
Yeah, I liked all the quips in this movie. Like that whole fucking tattoo scene where he pulls out the money. He's like, "There's 3 reasons why somebody would show you this," and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go into the speech, but he does it all. And at the end of it, he's like, "Any takers?" Fucking, don't
I just
know.
wish someone would
There's
try
so
to
many-
take it from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
And then the guy locks the door and he says, "All right, any takers?"
I thought that was great.
Yeah, I think the writing, the dialogue was perfect.
Especially the
Agreed.
whole little window scene, because like all of a sudden it stops and then he just kind of like leans over and just shuts that window. I thought it was great. Jason, what's your
Favorite scene?
yeah?
You said it when the kitty comes out of his coat.
Kitty
Oh,
comes
that
out.
is. Oh, yeah.
Because
That's it.
when you get the answers to why that
Why he has
happens,
the cat.
you love it even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
I do love the fact that like you just see him like at the end just like collecting them out of the cupboards.
Yep.
Like
Just getting prepared. He knows what's going. I don't know.
he's got the cat. He's
What-
like that cat needs to eat.
Yep.
If he can do that shit, he can fucking make the goddamn trash.
Right? That's the
Yeah.
entire out of everything in this goddamn film. That is the one thing that I
That's
had
my
a-
biggest gripe for sure.
Is how do you fucking miss the trash? You could do all this crazy shit. You have everything planned out. You have security, and yet
Yep.
you can't remember to take out the goddamn trash.
I'm not gonna lie. When he made that lasagna and they were all like, everyone was excited. That lasagna looked fucking terrible.
I kind of thought
Yeah.
the same thing. Like that's lasagna. It looked
It
like
I
looked
put
a.
it down. I was like, what did he do?
It looked like a quiche or something.
I thought it was like supposed to be like nacho lasagna or taco lasagna because I thought it was like cheddar on top.
Yeah.
I thought I
it
saw
looked-
tortillas.
I honestly just thought it looked like a spinach quiche or I don't know.
Maybe.
It didn't look like a lasagna for sure.
egg. It looked like eggs to me. Like a egg
Yeah,
in
and,
a-
It was
Uh,
yellow.
An egg thing or whatever you put in the oven.
Like an egg bake or a
Yeah,
or
yeah.
quiche, yeah.
Either
But
way,
yeah,
it
when
did
they
not look
when they
very
went to the
appetizing.
basement, I was like, all right, cool. You don't have to eat that shit.
I did love his basement though.
Oh, Tim, what's your favorite scene? You haven't answered it.
I don't know. I would honestly say I think I really did like that whole door locking scene.
Oh, okay.
That's probably my
The
favorite
tattoo
scene.
parlor.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you want to talk about fights and stuff, like probably the best fight scene, I personally thought that I really, really liked the bus fight scene because of exactly what you said. It's showing he hasn't done this for a while.
Yeah.
So he's just trying
Yeah.
to get back into the groove. He's like, how does this work again? Oh, yeah. Ugh. But you
But I
really
mean, that was
saw,
really the only fight scene.
well, you had the
he
one in
didn't do
his
a lot.
house.
The one in the house.
The house was
yeah, I
badass.
suppose.
You had the whole
That
fire
was
fight
kinda-
at
happened
the end.
pretty
That was
quick,
the John
though, you're
Wick
right.
moment. But yeah, a lot of it is just gunplay.
Yeah.
At the end, yeah.
But I just like that you see that, yeah, he hasn't done this for, so he's like, he's trying to
Get
you
back
know,
in the
get
groove
back
of
in the
things.
groove of things.
Stretching muscles he hasn't used in a while.
And that's where he's sitting at the table talking to the bad guy. He's like, there's an old part of me that's now awake.
Yeah,
and he's just itching to get out and play kind of thing.
itching just let this play out.
Yeah. But then there's another
The
side.
more sane, like reasonable side of me wants to just walk away.
Yeah. I thought that was a great line.
That was a good interaction between
yeah.
those two. I really enjoyed that little bit.
Especially, I don't know. I really like that line though because it just shows you without actually, or it tells you without having to really show you anything further in the past that this guy was definitely not one to fuck with. Like he was a certain kind of being. Even though you know that, like he was saying he was, what did he call himself?
An auditor.
An auditor.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're the guy that you don't want called, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
and how
Agencies didn't want to see me coming through the door.
yeah, and
then
how
you know it's
everybody, as soon as they figured out who he was, they were like, "Nope, I'm done." Like that one chick that got the fucking
The information
Yeah.
for the Russian
Yeah.
dude.
She sees all the
throws them,
redacted
don't even pay
information.
all the redacted information and just fucking no, I'm out. You don't even have to pay me. Goodbye.
Even that the gangster, like she throws it to, he just goes, "Fuck,
right,
bring him in
Yeah.
alive."
right. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was a bad.
Yeah, I like the tracheotomy at the end of the bus. Like he hits the dude in the throat so fucking hard that he's like, God
With
damn
that
it.
bar.
He's gonna
He
fuck.
collapses his
He's gonna
trachea.
fucking die. Like the way Odenkirk or Hutch just looks at him, he's like, fuck. I
Right.
hit him too hard. And then he just fucking goes over there and does that.
I do like the lines like as he's walking through. It's like, God, I hope these guys like eating hospital food.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
also the line is, this girl's gonna go home safe tonight.
Right.
Yeah. I love that callback when he's saying you fucked up you killed my brother, and he's like, when I left him, he was still breathing.
yeah, that
Which
was
is
awesome.
more than he deserved.
Yeah, and as
Yeah.
little as I
As
know
little
of
as
him.
we know of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. It was
God, it was, I don't want to say fun ride again for the 30th time on this podcast, but it was.
Once Hutch gets going, like anything he says is actually like a good line.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really have like throwaway lines or like bad lines. Everything has some meat to it that you're like, yeah, that was a good line.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I mean by that comedic. I feel like it's
Yeah.
almost more comedy than drama.
There
but I
was-
understand that understand why it wouldn't be considered a comedy. It's his deliverance. It's
There's
the way
so
he
many-
does
Yeah,
it.
it's the way he's viewing it, like through his own eyes. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like this is just everyday life. So this is an annoyance
And
for him.
there's so many like comedic, funny parts.
Comedic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parts in it that aren't even with dialogue at all. Like in the bus scene, he's strapped. He takes the rope you pull.
Yep.
And
He just stares at him.
He's just like strangling with it, and then the sign goes, "Please stop, please
Yeah.
stop."
Yeah.
That was funny. And then at the end with the fucking 204 days since last injuries, he wipes
just-
that
yeah,
clean.
wipes it out.
There's moments like that, like 4 to 6 times in this movie that are just like,
Well, even
that
the
was
beginning,
good.
right away in the beginning was fucking hilarious.
The
where
pizza
he's-
box? Oh, no.
No, right in the beginning when he's in handcuffs
yeah,
at the
yeah.
station and he just pulls out the cigarettes and then the cat and then the food. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like,
Yep.
where the fuck is this shit coming from? Like, because you don't know that he grabbed all this stuff before. You know?
Right.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was really good. Now, as a character, though, do you feel like this Hutch guy was believable? Let's just go off of first judgment, first look at him. Do you believe that
Technically,
he would
no.
be capable of anything of this nature?
No, I mean, obviously, looking at him, you wouldn't expect it out of him.
No.
Like, and I think that's supposed to be the. I think that's supposed to be an sorry. Eventually, that becomes the beauty of the character is that he's not supposed
Right.
to look like the guy that does
That does this. Yep.
Like, that's why he gets to say, "I'm nobody."
Right.
Like, I just blend in.
Yep.
Like, no one suspects me.
It was kind of like I really felt you feel for him too because when they're at the
Fuck yeah.
breakfast table or whatever like that, and his son's like, "Oh, I need to do this paper." It's like, "Can I just do one on like vets?" And it's like, "Can I just do it on you?" And he's like, "Sure." And then the wife's like, "Well, why don't you do someone who's
Yeah,
a
he
real
just gets
soldier?"
treated like a piece
Yeah.
of
Wow.
shit. Yeah.
I'm like, that's cold.
Right. And that's what I mean. I was like, that whole time, I was like, this bitch.
Right. And
Like-
and the thing is you could just see him biting his tongue, going, "I really can't talk about who I am." So,
Right.
yeah,
Or
sure. why
and
not?
I-
or is like, this is the life I chose.
Yep.
Well, and like watching him do those pull-ups at the bus station
Yeah.
and like looking at
At
his
his
wife's
wife.
fucking like
Yeah.
poster the whole time.
He was like
Like,
seething with just
Yeah.
fucking like I don't know, resentment towards her.
Like he was getting an extra 10 reps out of fucking pure
Yeah, like-
anger or some shit or spite.
whatever it was, yeah, spite, whatever it was, yeah. I like that too. I like those scenes. He's just, ugh. Although I do think it's a weird place to do some pull-ups.
Would you guys want a sequel to this movie?
Absolutely, I would take a
I
Yeah,
sequel.
think-
I mean,
think
if they
so.
get everybody back to
Yeah.
I mean, all the right characters back.
The
Obviously,
way
the people that are dead, they can't. Bring back, but-
well, the way
They can't bring back the Russian mob. Yay!
No, they're just gonna bring out the brother of
bring
the
out the
brother.
Chechens.
It's gonna be the brother of this one.
God.
That's who.
Some other shack.
The way they left it with Riza and Lloyd, like I think that would be interesting to see come back. Towards the end, when they're driving in
think-
that bus, it's like, oh, why don't we just fly? And they just turn around, and all those guns are in the back. It's not with this luggage.
It'd be nice
I
to see
think it
the
would be-
prequel of their stories.
Yeah, the prequel with Riza and Bob Odenkirk, or even going back and seeing Christopher Lloyd.
Well,
right?
you would have to have a
Like-
young Christopher Lloyd, but
Well, yeah, but I
Lloyd.
mean, like to do that backstory, like you can go back that far. I mean, there's
Yeah.
probably something to mine from that if you really wanted to.
yeah.
I do really like though, and I am curious about that whole family.
Yeah, because you see the photo
Yeah,
of them and
Yeah.
kids, and obviously they're brothers. However that happened, they're fucking brothers. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
I want to know that story.
I absolutely love the way they introduced it too, just over the radio. So, you're getting
Yeah.
better. Oh yeah, how long you been listening to?
Oh yeah.
that was great. I love that
Yep.
intro.
I thought because at first I thought it was just he just turned on like a
Yep.
radio
Yeah.
or something.
Well,
I'm like,
I
that's,
looked at it, I was like, at first I was like, is that a ham radio?
yeah, it
And-
definitely wasn't like a radio. Like
Yeah, and I was very confused.
F-
Like a
FM radio.
What
bunker.
station is he picking up?
right. But then he started talking, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, and then to further answer that question, do you believe this guy looking at him is capable of doing that? First instinct, no. But then you get to know his family. His dad is a badass. His brother.
Yeah.
Then when they're all together, you're like, okay, how long have they been fucking?
Yeah.
So definitely capable. And for how long?
Even when he's talking to his brother over the radio, he's like, for a guy that's supposed to be dead, you're like, oh, okay. So I mean, he definitely pals around with people that are, less than savory.
Yeah, because you don't quite understand that they're brothers until a little bit later,
right?
And so
we still don't even know that. I'm just saying that,
right? Well, they say it. They eventually say, they went after Dad. It's like, I know. Who do you think helped clean up the shit? Like, I mean, you saw the photo. You can kind of piece it together.
Yeah.
But I agree. I want to see that. I want to see that story.
Yep.
The family, the
family dynamic. What's how it ends up.
What's their last name again?
Mansell.
I want to see the Mansell family.
How that
story.
Started and that dysfunctionality.
You obviously know that Christopher Lloyd, the pops, was a FBI agent at some point. Because of his badge.
Oh, his badge.
Yeah.
I was just saying you could fake that, but I mean,
it
wouldn't make any sense to just have the one fake badge, I guess.
Right. I mean, he had a gun, which was probably the issued gun at the time. He had the badge, and then
probably service revolver.
And he had a bunch of money, but yeah, I definitely want to see that story. If they did a sequel, absolutely it'd be great, especially after the phone call that you get towards the end.
Yeah,
like, it sets you up. Was that phone call? It
sets you up to be like, okay, now he's gonna try to live both and be a family man and do whatever. Yeah. He's gonna answer those phone calls.
Does this house have a basement?
I love the way his wife chimed in at the end because he was like struggling to find the word. And she's like, I know.
Yeah, it was just some dumb way to let us know that she's on board now. Yeah. It's like, fine.
There's a
she doesn't deserve
to that story that I want to know about.
Yeah, because when he was getting patched up, she's like, oh, it's like old times again.
Yeah,
like,
she's in that old story for sure.
She even says this is the real me, and like he alludes to the fact that she knows about his past.
Mm-hmm. But it's probably military or like he has some kind of that kind of thing. She probably really, this is the way I think about it, is she probably doesn't know.
She wasn't able to know
because it's classified kind of information. You know what I mean? Like she probably doesn't know what he used to do.
He's like Steven Seagal in Under Siege.
That's twice you brought that up, and I guess somebody's turning into a Steven Seagal fan.
He just likes that. He was a cook in Under Siege, so that's why Aaron.
That's because he was so highly decorated, or he was such a lethal weapon he couldn't hold any rank. Well, don't you remember that plot line?
Apparently, that's true in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently, because that writer does not like cooks. In Under Siege, I'll say it again.
Such a stupid fucking premise.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this. I think there's something to mine from the meeting of Hutch and his wife, whose name escapes me at the moment, but it's played by Connie Nielsen, who is aging very well.
I thought
right. She's familiar, but
she was the chick from The Devil's Advocate. It was probably the first movie I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah, she was the one that was the daughter of Al Pacino.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was aging pretty well too.
Yeah, she played a great Cold Stone wife.
Yeah. It wasn't even like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that.
All right,
dynamic.
let's.
So the daughter was the only one I actually.
Did we talk about?
Right. Fuck that son.
Did we talk about when Hutch burns down the fucking mob boss's shit, meets him at his
the Ob Shack?
The Ob Shack, and then goes to see the boss.
I thought it was a terrible name, by the way.
I know, terrible.
What the fuck is the Ob Shack?
I wanted to figure out what it meant in Russian.
I thought it was just like, we can't think of the Odenkirk Ob Shack. I don't know.
Even when they were explaining what the Ob Shack was, even when Hutch was like, the Ob Shack?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically
a terrible name.
Where all the money goes and sits, and he has to babysit it. I'm like, that's just terrible.
Instead, it perpetually moves, and then it was just on like carts just
Right.
going around in
Yeah.
circles in a warehouse. And I was like, is that what you mean?
It's always on the move. That money never sits still.
I don't think that keeps it any
It gets pushed
safer.
around on the clock every hour by the hour.
I thought him putting the gas into the sprinkler system was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That was a great idea.
I've seen that done.
I haven't. Where?
Say,
Oh fuck, man! Give me a little bit, and I'll think of it.
Okay.
There's
the only
a
thing I can
movie.
think of is like the Dark Knight when the Joker sets the fucking pile of money on fire. But I feel like he was just using a gas can.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was just
probably
lighting
a
it on
squirt
fire.
gun or
There's a movie where
It-
they put like gasoline or something in the sprinkler system, and I want to say it had to do with aliens, but I don't really remember.
I don't know.
So,
Even
I'll-
if you have seen it once before.
That's gonna fucking
Oh, was it a sci-fi movie?
maybe.
Well, obviously
Like
aliens.
from on sci-fi, not like a science fiction movie. Like
Oh,
on the Sci-Fi
gotcha.
channel.
I don't think that.
One of those
Because
cheesy
I'm
shows.
trying to. I think I know the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, there's something I can't think of it. As
Yeah,
right.
because it's like all the
They're-
aliens look like co-eds on a college campus.
Oh,
I'm
was it
pretty sure.
facility?
Oh wow.
No, not-
I
Or,
don't
I mean,
think
not
so.
facility, a faculty?
Not the faculty.
Not the
No,
faculty.
no.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, but you
But
know what I'm saying.
I think I know what movie you're talking
Yeah.
about, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, there's something like that.
Anyways, yes, that was badass, right, Tim? and then he has that meeting. Did we talk about him meeting the boss? When he sits down, he's eating the steak.
We talked a little bit.
Okay,
I did like
I thought
the
so.
scene.
And then
He just looks out in the crowd, and there he is, just
yeah,
cutting a steak.
It was
Like, with a fucking
he's
crowd
like a-
moved around him.
yeah, and he's just that once again the dialogue. The mob boss walks up.
Enjoying
up.
your meal?
Yeah, and his response is, "I'm here for the show."
He's
I like the way he's
fuck
like,
yeah,
"Meh, I'm here for the show.
yeah,
Cute.
loved it.
You got some nerve.
But anyways, that leads up to the finale of the movie, and
That whole climax scene, like that shootout,
wasn't it?
was dope.
Yeah, it really was.
And then even the chase, the car, how he leads him to the warehouse, and he gives
Yeah.
him the option. And he's like, "We can part ways right now if you're smart and all this." And then he's sitting in his car. He's kind of like hoping he gets
Yeah.
like attacked, right?
Yeah.
He wants it to happen. Okay, cool. I was
it's basically to break it down, he's a man with a death wish that knows that he can outbeat it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
And then
it's not really a death wish if you know you can beat it.
well, but everything that because even at the end, like he's like, we all gotta die at some time, and he just goes out there like you know that everything he's doing is basically suicidal, but
Yeah,
he's got the demeanor, he's got the skill, he's got the knowledge that it's like, well, if I die, I die. But
Yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty confident I'm gonna get through this. Even at the bus scene, he wasn't like 100% sure that he was, but you really don't know that it's 100% that he's gonna walk away from this. He gets back up and does it anyway. Like, I think
Right.
it's that whole hero
Yeah,
complex
valid.
without actually calling himself a hero.
and then
Not all heroes wear capes.
yeah, I liked when he kicked down the rear view mirror and used that in reverse.
Yeah.
that was pretty
When
fucking
the bus
unrealistic and awesome.
when the bus moved in the way of the alley, and you just hear him go "fuck."
Yeah.
I was confused for a moment because I was like, "Wait, is he mad that they cut off the cars, like so they couldn't follow him any further?" And then the other one hit him from the front, and I was like, "Oh, this got interesting."
I will say that there's one moment where I was like super upset and sad. I'm like, oh my God, why would you do that? When he burned down his house. Did
Yeah,
you
the
see
vinyl.
that vinyl collection?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful. That whole setup was beautiful. And yet he just, like it was nothing. He just, whoop, there we go, self-destruct. Well, can't you take that shit with you?
I thought that
Not
his
in this
explanation,
current
like,
circumstance, no.
I mean,
his explanation
vinyl
of,
records
like,
in
how-
that amount are super heavy. Sorry, Aram.
No, you're fine.
trust
I was
me,
actually
I
cracking my knuckle.
understand. These movies that I've had to move aren't like, I have to keep them in several different boxes.
They're heavy as well, but not as heavy as vinyl.
My books.
They're heavy as
talk-
well.
Let's talk about my
Whatever.
books.
You're not a fucking super badass spot. He probably has a lot of money.
I also was like, my first thought was like, I hope he got duplicates and sent them some like cabin or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe.
It was sad to see the vinyl fucking go down, but.
But,
But
yeah,
anyways, But I'll tell
I
you,
thought
horror
that
movies aren't
whole-
real, and those vinyl records were empty.
Except for the one he put away and he took out.
Yeah. Sorry.
The-
All right.
That
Aaron,
whole
sorry.
reveal of like the basement, like when he's talking to the bodies about like what temperature bones burn at. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This place is set to like double that. No one's gonna find you.
1,500 degrees, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And he's like, this is set up to double that. No one's gonna find you.
Oh,
and then the
and-
fucking record is the ignition.
And he found the kitty bracelet. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, look at that.
Sneaky little devil. Because he like looks over and he's like, you sneaky little devil. And I'm like, what? Oh.
And he's just kind of like, oh, too late now. The fucking, this is the whole reason why it started.
Yep. And I like that though, because you were
Exactly.
like, oh my goodness.
Because yeah, she probably
started this
She
whole
probably
war.
dropped it when they when she came
to snuggle
hung
with
out
him,
with
yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He started this whole war off of false pretenses.
Yep. Just like America.
Just like a marriage, and family, and
Don't be
This is about that just got as dark as Aram's interview episode.
oh,
fuck.
Sorry, Aram. Do you have any more questions, or we want to break down the war zone scene at the end?
I mean, if you want to break down the war zone,
I don't know. I had a good time, like Pineapple Express.
yeah, that's what I thought too. I literally was like,
Been so long since I watched that movie.
I literally
At the
thought
end,
that
when they
felt like
fucking
Pineapple
just
Express.
do a shoot 'em up scene for the fuck of it at Pineapple Express.
It was a Pineapple Express shootout scene without the stupidness.
Yeah, without the stupid
without
comedy.
the
Yeah.
stoner influence. So, yep, I thought the exact same thing. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed Christopher Lloyd though, especially when he's telling his son. I tried the retirement thing once. It's like sitting down, sleeping in, taking a nap, eat lunch.
As he's reloading his shotgun.
Yeah, it's like I just
God, I miss this.
yeah, God, I
It's like he's thanking his son for bringing it back. And I like Odin or Hutch when Lloyd kicks open the door. He's like, "Dad!" Like he didn't expect him to
Dad?
be there.
yeah, get in there.
I did actually really enjoy RZA
Yeah.
fucking using the sniper rifle and
Yeah.
like just fighting guys with it
Right.
too.
I like how
The three
Odenkirk-
headshots.
Yeah,
That was badass.
RZA had the sniper, Lloyd had the shotgun, and Hutch
Odenkirk just had a pistol.
had pistols. Yeah, I like how they were special. They
Yeah.
were,
And all the Russians had shot like machine guns.
yeah.
Oh,
Which are
fully
the
automatic.
most
They were
inaccurate
just
weapons, so-
Well,
wasting bullets.
yeah, that's why they fire so much. is
Yeah.
You just spray and pray.
yeah.
At this point, they were basically stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, I like how he took down the boss. And that's why I felt like a video game, because it came down to the boss. There was
Yeah.
nobody left besides the boss, and then the boss got one shot off on RZA, and it made it all dramatic, or not dramatic, but powerful or whatever. And then he takes that fucking grenade he had at the meeting and fucking
The Claymore?
Yeah, the
Claymore.
Claymore. Yeah, there you go. And then does what he does with the shield or that bulletproof
It's
glass.
like riot glass or something
Yeah,
like that.
it was very clever and
Because
lab-
it
took
worked.
several
It was
shots.
very
It didn't
lab-
crack, didn't break.
yeah. So it was very, I don't know, just fucking entertaining movie all the way through.
It was fun. Like you said, it was a fun ride.
Hell yeah.
It was one of those films that, like, even though people want to compare it to like John Wick, and I love the John Wick films, like I didn't like this had the comedy that just made it so much more fun.
So
It was
brought
like
the-
that serious non-seriousness. Like I don't know, and I think
Because it basically took a premise that's over the top
yeah.
and recognized that it was over the top. Whereas John Wick kind of tries to do it a little more seriously. And they do it well.
And over the
But,
top
like-
really was just over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Shut up. I like that movie.
arm wrestling.
I just think
Yeah.
that over the top, the whole thing I thought was ridiculous was the whole weights and the cab scene. Like,
Fucking machine.
it's just like, that's ridiculous.
So my aunt and uncle actually compete professionally in arm wrestling.
Why does
Oh,
that
Just so you
surprise
know.
me?
You're being serious? Oh shit.
Back in
Yeah.
Romania?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
well, no, they live in the town I grew up. They actually went over to Europe for like the World Championships like a couple years
In
ago.
Romania. That's what I just said.
No, I don't think it was in Romania. It was definitely over somewhere there though.
Well,
Close
you're
Belgium?
You're backing up
Belgium,
Tim's
baby.
joke, so
All right.
You got any more questions? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it. I do want to see Next Level now. That movie that's on Hulu about the guy who like repeats the same day over and over. But
the guy that played Crossbones in Captain America.
Yep.
Can't remember his name.
Next Level Hulu. Huh?
Yeah, I want to
Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo. Yep, Frank Grillo. I want to watch that now because I feel like this probably has a very similar.
It's like an action version of Groundhog's Day.
Yep.
Okay.
But that to me feels like it'd be like more of a video game feel.
Yeah.
Because that's what their whole premise Next Level is like. Oh, I just never been able to reach the boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. We should.
Yeah, I don't even know when did that come
watch
out.
that. Oh, like
that hasn't popped up on my Hulu.
like half a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Yeah, it's got like Mel Gibson.
Yep, he's the bad guy.
Like I said, Frank Grillo. I can't remember who else is in it, but there's a couple other people that are in it.
Some chick that I think is.
Well, there's usually a female lead.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like she's pretty.
I probably saw Mel Gibson and was like, nah. I gave up on that guy a while ago.
I don't know. The only movie that Mel Gibson has done recently that I kind of want to see is called Fat Man, which is
about Santa Claus,
where he plays Santa and like a kid takes a hit out on him.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I want to see it. I think it'll be pretty. I actually saw one with him and Sean Penn recently, and I don't remember. It was on Netflix. It was a Netflix show where like it was about the dictionary. And it was he was like one of the like a Scottish writer or something like that who helped write the dictionary.
Oh,
and that was really it was super good. It was a super good movie.
I remember being interested.
It was
forgetting.
It was kind of like a boring concept, but I was not bored.
I liked the dictionary.
Thoroughly enjoyed that film. Anyway,
I'm gonna go home and watch Serenity.
Serenity's great. I love that movie.
Which one? The Matthew McConaughey one or the Firefly one?
Firefly one.
Okay.
Yeah, I got like 20 minutes.
There's a movie.
Yeah,
there's a movie with Matthew McConaughey called Serenity.
Yeah.
So now I have to like make sure people are fucking talking about the right one.
The only one that matters.
Did I get it right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I started it before I came here, and now I'm just fiending to finish it. It's been so long.
It's so good. I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
It was a great movie to end a great series.
To bring closure to the
that didn't get that
series,
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep.
That got blackballed.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, Nobody.
Oh yeah, we rating.
Yep. Let's rate it. Aram. Nobody.
I mean, fuck it. I'll give it 5 stars. Like I'd watch this movie again and again. It was fun.
Right on.
I just enjoyed it.
That's Aram's first 5-star right there. Jason.
Fuck it. 5 stars. This is one of my favorite action movies, and I'm going to watch it once a year probably. And I don't fucking care. I know what I've said before.
It's gonna be his holiday film. It's like, all right, Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Fuck you, Die Hard. This is my new Christmas movie.
I have to honestly say that a 3.5. If you get rid of the 3 point.
You.
What? Get rid of what?
The 3 point.
So you want to give it a 0.5?
You want to give it a point?
You gotta get rid of the point too. I said to get rid of the 3 point.
The 3 okay.
And it's a 5-star.
Tim and his word
Oh my
games.
God. You and your stupid riddles.
I thought you were standing up on that fucking garbage can thing and like you were doing 3.5.
Yeah,
No.
right? You were like, but I was like, he didn't even have shoes on, so it showed you he was really in a rush.
No, I couldn't get that. I couldn't get over that. I'm like, how the fuck I don't miss the garbage night ever.
Definitely
I wanna make
deserves
sure that garbage
5 stars if that's the biggest gripe.
right, everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't miss a garbage night. How does he miss a garbage night for a week?
For-
Unless they get it twice a week. Which, lucky him.
Yeah. I mean, they make enough money. They could probably afford it.
That is true. I loved that basement.
Yeah.
I really did. I really loved that. And it's not even like a man
me
cave.
too.
It was just super, I don't know. It was just nice looking. Anyway.
Decked out?
Yeah. Maybe it was just the whole vinyl. It basically looked like another house.
I just loved what it could do. Turn into an oven.
It's a good thing. He probably should have warned his family not to play a record while they're down there.
It's just that one specific record. Because remember, he grabs it. He's like, there we go. Perfect.
But who would have said that? He's, I don't know, the son or somebody was like, what's this?
I mean, his 16-year-old, his 15-year-old shit brick son. Like, you really think they're gonna come down and fucking play a record?
Especially during a firefight. But
fuck that kid.
I did like how leisure he was about like letting them come back up, and he just held his daughter's eyes shut while everybody was just like, oh, there's blood and dead
Yeah.
people everywhere.
Oh, how he covered his daughter's eyes? Yeah, that was a
the
nice
smart
touch.
part, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he takes the time to clean himself up
Yeah.
so that he doesn't put off his family
Right.
enough, like to just get him out of the house.
Looks like he was wearing a denim shirt, and that should have been thrown away.
Yeah.
Okay, fashion show Tim over here.
Oh, denim is terrible. Unless it's on pants.
I mean, a Canadian tuxedo.
Right? That's good. I like that. Anyway, yeah, I give it a 5-star for sure.
All right.
I agree
Dope.
with you, both of you. Like, this is a movie I would watch again and again. Like,
Fuck yeah.
it was entertaining. It was fun. There was,
Only an hour and a half long.
yeah, it didn't.
Which Aaron
Such a,
loves.
yeah.
There was not a
Yep.
boring part about this film at all.
Fuck no.
And there wasn't an overextended point of like, okay, let's
Yeah.
move on.
It wasn't
No,
drawn out.
Not at
or
all.
anything like that.
None of the fight scenes were
No.
overly done. I thought it was.
It was contained. It told the story just well enough that you were just like, I'm on board.
And I give it props to Odenkirk. What do they call him?
Yeah, Odenkirk.
Okay.
That's his last name.
Odin.
I thought I said
Kirk.
Odin for a second. Yeah, I give it props to him too because he did 2 years of training to do this film proper, and it showed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard him on a podcast, and he was like, I really liked the script. I liked the people making the movie, and I didn't want to let the genre down, so I took it serious, and I fucking trained hard for it, and I went to. He would have quit if he wouldn't have thought he wasn't able to do it.
Well, and it shows in his.
And it was fun for him.
It shows in his physique. He lost weight from that training because if
Yeah.
you look at
He was
anything,
a pudgier guy.
yeah, he wasn't-
when he
he
had his
wasn't-
shirt off during that healing moment with his wife.
right? He has
I
like,
was like, damn, dude, you're not ripped, but you.
right? He has skinny
Good on you.
arms,
Yep.
but he had chesticles, and I'm like,
Yep.
it just shows he does all those pull-ups.
So
But,
you're saying
yeah.
there's a chance me and Eric can get back in the shape.
Yeah, you guys have to
What do
actually
you mean
move
back
off
into
your
shape? I wasn't in shape to begin with.
right.
Fair enough.
You guys have to move off your couches first. You
This
need to stop
is my
falling
shape.
asleep every second you get a
I
chance.
love to sleep.
Aaron already has calves of a god, so
Yeah.
Oh.
he's already
gonna-
a quarter step above you. So
It's my next avenue of income. I'm going to start being a calf model.
Hell yeah.
you should.
Damn. All right.
I mean, if I could find work for it, I would.
Just take pictures of your calves and throw them out on the internet.
At calf shops.
All right, gentlemen, let's wrap her up. So this is Timothy Bennett here,
Zarin Banyan.
Jason Chandler.
and thanks for listening. We'll catch you later.
Peace.
Thanks.